Part 2 of I was reincarnated and I hope it doesn't happen again. Benjamin shrugged. I don't know. Really, I don't, and there's no way to tell. It's impossible to see other people's reflections and past lives, so far as I can tell. But I like to think that maniacs like Hitler didn't get the right to be reincarnated and are in hell, but, shit, how do I know you weren't Ted Bundy or something? I laughed. Don't worry, I wasn't. Benjamin chuckled in answer. I believe you. I know this is a lot to take in, and it'll be confusing as hell until all your memories come back, but I'm glad you're taking it so well. Some people go the entire week thinking this is all a dream, till they start over again in the real world and don't remember a thing. So, after a week I'll be completely reborn, and not remember this? That's right. I won't remember anything until the next time I come here? Bingo. Why a week? I asked. How do we even know it's a week anyway? And who's doing all of this? God? Couldn't answer any of those if I wanted to. Could be the fucking flying spaghetti monster for all I know. I'm only certain that I was told and shown everything you've been told and shown, and here we are. You'll remember everything in a few days. Everybody does, Benjamin replied. We sat there for a few minutes. I could tell Benjamin was giving me time to let it all sink in. I appreciated that. It really was all insane, but I figured if I was going to believe some of it, I might as well believe all of it. I turned to Benjamin to thank him for everything, but he was gone. Long timer? I whispered to myself, 7 days? Oh shit, Benjamin had been reincarnated into his next life. I stood up and reflected on all my past lives and tried desperately not to think about one in particular. That thing, what I had done, I had to try and forget. Then the nearby sound of heavy breathing pulled me back to reality. I looked to my left and there was a teenage Hispanic girl looking around frantically and starting to cry. I approached her with my hand out, like I was trying to calm an angry and unfamiliar puppy. Hey, are you okay? What? She screamed. Where am I? Who the fuck are you? What am I doing here? Hey, listen, it's okay. Look, I know this is weird, but I went to touch her shoulder and she jumped up like she had been electrocuted. The girl collided with someone standing behind her, then tried to run but bounced off the back of another person. The girl landed hard and pulled her knees to her chest, crying in earnest, and buried her head in her folded arms. Jesus, I thought, how was Benjamin so good at this? Then I remembered what he had done, how he had addressed the situation. He smiled. Benjamin treated me as if I were his friend. He was quiet and patient, but most importantly, he smiled. I knelt next to the girl and spoke softly, smiling this time. You're okay. I promise you're okay. Can you look up at me? The girl peeked from under the protection of her crossed arms, tears rolling down her cheeks. Let's start over, okay? I'm Daniel. Welcome to the waiting room. I spent the next 6 days helping the newbies acclimate to the waiting room. Some cases were harder than others. The first girl, her name had been Vanessa, was a tough one, and tougher ones were to follow, but after a while I learned how to make the transition smooth for even the worst freakouts. I guided them, showed them their reflections, and talked. From what I can remember about the other times I came to the waiting room, I can't recall ever feeling as much joy onboarding the newbies as I did right after my life as Daniel. It was the most fulfilled I can ever remember being. For 6 days. Then, on the 7th day, Benjamin came back. It was my last day in the waiting room, and I greeted lots of people and even saw Vanessa for a few minutes while she was waiting for a newbie to wake up. There was a mood in the air that day. It felt like everyone was happy and smiling at me, because they knew I was about to leave and start a brand new life. That feeling evaporated when I felt a hand grab my shoulder, hard, and heard a rough voice say, Daniel, as the person spun me around to look at them. He was a tall, Russian man with a mustache and disheveled black hair. Daniel, oh thank God I caught you in time. Hi friend, I said, do I know you from somewhere? Yes, fuck, the man said, I look completely fucking different. Daniel, it's me, Benjamin. My jaw went slack. I had no idea how this person knew who Benjamin was. It must have been a prank. Other people had met Benjamin, sure they had, and some of them are probably still here, I bet. Look man, I'm not sure who put you up to this, but either way, prank's over. You definitely scared the shit out of me. I'm Dan Dash, would you shut the fuck up? He yelled. I'm Benjamin, here, look. The man nearly dragged me over to one of the reflecting pools. I looked down at the reflection. but the man wasn't looking back into the pool with me. He had his eyes closed, and I still only saw the tall, thin, white guy. Then, it happened. His reflection changed. It changed to Benjamin for a second, the Benjamin I had met 7 days ago. Then it shifted to the investment banker he had mentioned. Before that he was a farmer from the Middle East. Then it was just a small child, a kid who died way too young. It changed again, and again, and again. My brain felt like it was going to explode. I reared back, breaking the reflection's hold over me, and grabbed my temples as I fell to the ground. All those lives Benjamin had lived were flashing before my eyes. I was absorbing them, living them as I had relived my own when I looked into the pool for the first time. The difference was, when I remembered my own lives it felt natural, like slipping beneath a warm, familiar blanket. This, on the other hand, felt like stepping into an Iron Maiden and having someone slam the door closed as hard as they could. "See!" Benjamin shouted, "You see! RFUCK!" I screamed, still writhing on the ground, "Fuck, it hurts. We aren't supposed to see. We aren't supposed to see each other's past." Benjamin was crying now and shaking me to snap out of it. "I know, man, I know. Listen, what you saw in there, it wasn't me. Not the me you met." I pulled away from him, remembering what I had seen in his reflection. "That murder, the murder you committed in your past life, Benjamin. Jesus Christ WHY. God damn it, that was a kid. She didn't deserve to die like that. What the fuck is wrong with you?" Benjamin screamed, "I'm sorry, Daniel. Please." It wasn't me, not the real me, I swear I Then a far-off commotion drew our attention to a reflecting pool a few yards away. It was hard to make out what was happening over my pounding headache, but I got snippets of "you bitch," and then a man dragging a woman by the hair and trying to drown her in the reflecting pool. He was pulled off her by some other people who all looked into the pool, but now, instead of looking straight down into the water at their own reflections, their gazes were shifted slightly to see the persons next to them. Each one pulled back and clutched their heads in agony. "It's spreading," whispered Benjamin. "Daniel, listen. Please listen." "No, fuck no, I won't listen," I replied. "How are you even here anyway? It's only been a week. Why are you in that body?" "I don't know, bro, fuck, that's one of the things I needed to tell you. It went like this. I woke up in this body, a 40-fucking-year-old man, and walked around for a bit, confused as all hell. I don't think I've taken over someone else's body, but I'm not sure. It feels like I just appeared out of nowhere. I went outside the apartment where I was living, one of those old Soviet bloc buildings, and looked at the people. No one seemed to recognize me. Then I walked past a shop window. The lights were off, so the reflection of the glass was crystal clear. Daniel, it's not everyone. It's not all human beings who are reincarnated. A couple of people, 2 at the most, walked by the window and I saw their past lives in the reflection, but, mostly, people just reflected normally. I thought everybody was like us, but I guess not, or maybe all those people whose pasts I couldn't see are on their first go around. Shit. I don't know. What I think is this. I think something went wrong, someone in charge of all this glitched the fucking system or something, and now everything's gone to shit. This is bad, man, this is so bad. Some self-righteous part of me wanted to beat the shit out of him for what he did to that little girl in his past life, for the innocence he had taken, and how he was never even caught. And, after, how he did it over and over again. However, that part was shut up quickly by it, that thing I don't want to remember about my own past. It told me that I had no right to judge Benjamin. He and I are not the same, far from it, but still. I looked at him. It was hard to believe that he was telling the truth, but his being here was proof, sure, only a trace of it, but proof all the same, and I couldn't deny it. You killed yourself, I said. Yeah. You killed yourself so you could come here to warn me. Yes. I took a deep breath in, and let it out, trying to calm down.